very good morning to you. How are you doing? I hope that you're well, you're happy, you're blessed. Thank you so much for being here. It's 18 minutes past 8, just the right time to start this show. I know that you've had an amazing time right from we started at 7:35 where we've had some music. I know that you're blessed already. So karibu sana. This is MBCI TV. Ambapo tunabadilisha maisha by the grace of God. But of course the show on air is Afya Clinic, where we talk about everything that pertains to your health. And we make sure that we talk about it in a way that you'd be able to understand. So if you have any question, this is the place to be. Today we are having an amazing discussion. And this is something that affects you and I. I know we've talked about it a couple of times. And every time we talk about it, we are able to solve something. Yeah? And to help someone. So leo pia tutakuwa tuna solve na tunasaidiana. So we'll be having this discussion. But even before I tell you what we'll be talking about, karibu sana. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'd love to know how you are. So how are you doing? Have you been from last week on Wednesday? That was the last time we were here for Afya Clinic. I'd love to know how are you doing? What are you thanking God for? There's so much to thank God for. And he said that we'll be doing a lot of gratitudes because that's very important. So what are you thanking God for? What's that one reason that you'd say, I have so much I'm trusting God for, but God has done it. So please share with us and we'll be happy to hear from you. Pia unatuwatch kutoka wapi, unatuwatch na kina nani, we'll be happy to hear from you. Our numbers are very open for that. That is 0721 105 105 on WhatsApp, 23814, our SMS code, which is absolutely free of charge. We're live on Facebook on MBCI TV Facebook page. We're live on YouTube on MBCI TV official YouTube page. On the comment section, tutaweza kupata ujumbe wako loud and clear. Now, on our numbers, please text. We'll be able to get your message. Kwa sasa, hatutaweza kupick calls. I see we're receiving calls already. Lakini, wacha leo tusipick calls. So please text on WhatsApp, the normal text. We'll be able to get your messages, we'll be able to get your feedback, and we'll be happy for that. All right? Perfect. That's it and done. Thank you so much for being here on all social media pages. I'm Rachel Kahugu. So kienda pale pia nitaweza kupata ujumbe wako loud and clear. We'll be here up to 10 in the AM. And today we are talking about mental wellness. We are so used to calling it mental health, which is also really good. But today I'd love to term it as mental wellness because it's very important for us to be mentally well. And there's something that our guest has told us. And sasa hii ni discussion tumekuwa nayo off air kidogo. So I'm going to be a psychologist today kwa sababu niko na impartation already. So a psychologist has told us that when you are mentally well, you're able to start your day vizuri. That tells you how you'll dress. You know, we can tell kama uko sawa 100% just from your outlook in the morning. It shapes how you want to start your day. So you know, you can look at someone and you'd be able to ask, uko sawa leo? 100%. But we won't just use that. We'll be able to get into the discussion just to know, is that the only way to know if you're okay or not okay? So we'll be having this discussion. If you have any question about mental health or mental wellness, please feel free to ask and we'll be able to answer your question. But just to get a small history of what mental wellness is, and when did people realize that mental health is an issue? Just to get a history kidogo, we have a segment ambayo imetengenezwa, which is really beautiful. So we'll be getting that and then we'll be coming right back to get into the discussion. So the in history segment.
Therapy for mental health has evolved over centuries, with early approaches often rooted in superstition and a limited understanding of the human mind. In ancient civilizations, mental health issues were often attributed to supernatural forces such as demonic possession or the wrath of gods. Treatments ranged from exorcisms to bloodletting, reflecting the belief that mental disorders were caused by external or spiritual forces. Ancient Greek philosophers like Hippocrates began to move away from these supernatural explanations, suggesting that mental health conditions were linked to imbalances in bodily fluids, a theory known as the humoral theory. In the 19th century, the advent of psychiatry and the development of asylums marked a significant change in the treatment of mental health disorders. Pioneers like Philip Philippe Pinel in France and Dorothea Dix in the United States advocated for more humane conditions in mental institutions, recognizing that patients with mental illnesses required compassionate care and structured environments. At the same time, early forms of psychotherapy began to emerge, with figures like Sigmund Freud introducing psychoanalysis in the late 19th century. Freud's theories focused on unconscious processes, early childhood experiences, and repressed memories, setting the stage for modern psychodynamic approaches to therapy. By the mid-20th century, therapy for mental health became more diversified and professionalized, with the development of various therapeutic modalities aimed at addressing a range of psychological issues. Cognitive behavioral therapy, that is CBT, developed by Aaron Beck and Albert Ellis, emerged as a practical and evidence-based approach to treat disorders like depression and anxiety by challenging negative thought patterns. The rise of humanistic therapies led by figures like Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow emphasized personal growth, self-actualization, and the importance of therapeutic relationship. As the field of mental health continued to evolve, the rise of medication and the deinstitutionalization movement and advances in neuroscience further shaped the way therapy is practiced today. Modern therapy emphasizes a holistic, individualized approach to mental health, combining psychotherapy with other forms of care to meet the diverse needs of those seeking help.
Perfect. So you're back. So that's the history, and I know that you've gotten something from that. As psychologists, will be able to comment on that kidogo. But I'd love for you to know who we're having today. She's not a new face. She's been here a couple of times, 6 marangapi, but you're part of us already now. Yeah, so she's not a new person, and I'm sure that you know Catherine. But for you to just know more of who we're having today, let's get the guest profile.
Hello and welcome to Afya Clinic. Today we are honored to host a seasoned mental health expert who has dedicated her life to helping individuals overcome the chain of addiction and to live healthier and more fulfilled lives. Catherine Ngarachu is a professional psychologist with a specialization in chemical dependency counseling. For the past 16 years, she has ably led the Department of Psychology at Outspan Medical College, playing a vital role in shaping the minds and hearts of the future caregivers. Her commitment to mental health and substance recovery has seen her actively involved in establishing the Outspan Serenity Center, where she has contributed to strategic approaches that promote holistic, quality, and service-oriented care for individuals battling substance abuse. Today, she joins us to share her wealth of knowledge and experience in addiction, mental health, and importance of compassionate, structured support in recovery. Join me as we welcome in studio Catherine Ngarachu. I'm your host, Rachel Kahugo.
Perfect. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
I'm good. Yes.
How have you been?
I've been well. Busy,
Yeah.
but been well. Yes, and happy to be back.
Asante.
Yes,
I was about to go there. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
So I'm grateful that you remembered us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and invited us back.
Thank you for coming.
Thank
you for
you,
coming.
thank you.
And today we'll be having an amazing conversation.
Okay.
And I know this is something that you're very passionate about.
Yes.
The last time we were here, Mpaka alituambia, namkuja Nyeri. I was like, okay.
Yes.
Tutakuja.
Yes.
And you're still promising we will.
Okay.
But it's good that
Karibuni
you've been able to have this city so that we can talk about mental health.
Yes.
Even here, before we come to the location, tuone mambo iko namna gani pale. But for now, karibu. Thank you so much for being here. We're happy to have you. Please say hi to viewers for the people who are seeing you for the very first time, and then you can get started.
All right. Good morning. Welcome so much to the show. I'm always happy to be here, especially a station that is so open and constantly talking about mental health, which is my passion, my love, my life.
Yeah.
So welcome so much, and hopefully today we'll get to your questions, because I know a lot of the time we talk a lot and people have questions and we may run out of time.
Yeah.
But I know today Rachel is promising me that we're going to get to your questions and be able to answer them.
Yeah.
So I feel so welcome in Nakuru.
Yeah.
Na nimewakaribisha Nyeri.
Asante. Asante sana.
Which is home for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, you know, with time, I'm getting to realize that people have reasons why they love particular things. Yeah. Part of psychology. Nimekwambia by the time tunamaliza issue nitakuwa psychologist.
Yes.
Tutarudi na wewe Nyeri.
No problem. You're most welcome.
Now, why do you love psychology so much?
Okay, for me, maybe let me speak how I came into psychology to understand why I love it so much.
Yeah.
Okay, for me, in my childhood, I would find myself in leadership positions, especially in the school setting. So when in high school, I was selected to be the head girl. And which is at that time was such a huge position.
Yeah.
And I was in a school that had actually transferred. So I nimelelewa Nairobi.
Yeah.
And then in Form 2, I moved to Kahuhia in Murang'a. So this is now a rural school that had some, of course, some things to say about Nairobi.
Yeah. Nairobi
so
girls.
it was quite a challenge adjusting. And then being now in that school, and then I've been selected now the head girl, and I have to now manage not just the students but the prefects, and you know, it's like you're the head prefect in charge. And so in the process, going through that process made me so curious to understand, why do people behave that way? Why is it that they have a problem with girls from Nairobi? Why are they behaving this way? Why is it that these are the kind of punishments you're supposed to give for these specific things? I was so curious. I've always been a curious child, but that particular, what sticks out in my mind is that particular thing. So by the time I was finishing high school, I actually now knew I really, really wanted to do psychology. And I remember when I was speaking to my parents about it, they were so puzzled. Like, what is psychology? Do you even know what that is? Because at that time, it was something that was not being done so much. In fact, I remember my dad wanted me to be a lawyer because I could talk. And I always had an answer for everything. But I just felt I wanted to understand people. So for me, what made me get into psychology is wanting to understand. So we had to strike an agreement with my dad, actually, that ukiingia college, you take maybe 1 unit or 2, and then if it's not what you want, you must change your mind, because you also don't know what psychology is. Now, what he didn't know, because I'm the firstborn, what he didn't know is that you don't really take psychology units at the beginning. So college unachukua 2 common units kwanza, alafu. He didn't know that, but I knew something inside me, even not knowing what psychology really was, but I knew this is what I wanted to do. And when I entered my first psychology class, I just fell in love. I knew, sasa,
nimefika.
Sasa hapa nimefika. And I have never looked back. So all through my entire career, I've always done psychology.
I love that.
And I've never known anything else as an alternative. So that's how I just wanting to understand, why do people behave the way that they do. Amazing. Now today we're talking about mental health. In layman's language, what is mental health? Mental health is very simply I'll break it down instead of a long thing. One, are you being able to use your abilities? If you look at what has been happening in the country lately with the mandamano and all that, one of the frustrations is unemployment among Gen Z. And if you look a little bit deeper at that frustration is, I have an ability. So for example, for myself, my ability is to listen and to help people, cope with life better and all that. But if I'm not able to use that, if I'm not able to do what the ability that I have, then I become frustrated. If you're not able to be an anchor to this program, you become frustrated. And that is mental health. So am I being able to use the abilities that I have, what I'm good at, what I have been trained for, and again, when we talk about ability, it can be a combination of your talent, your gift, and also your skill, what you're trained for, all that. Hopefully, all those align. Sometimes they don't align, but hopefully all those align. So number one is, are you able to use your abilities? The second question that you need to ask yourself when it comes to mental health is, are you being productive and are you being fruitful? You know? So at the end of the day, when you think about your day, do you feel like you have accomplished something? You know, do you feel like whatever it is that you're doing, has it borne fruit? Because saa zingine, the frustrations come in when I'm putting in a lot of effort. I'm waking up every day, I'm, you know, going to my hustle, I'm doing what I need to do. But nothing is coming out of it. I remember I was talking to somebody the other day, and they actually are an online business. And I was actually ordering something from them. And for some, they don't even know that I'm a psychologist or anything, but they opened up. And this is what I'm talking about, ability and gift. Because for some reason, people just open up and talk to me. And this is now, you can imagine this is on chat, on the chat, because they're an online business. We've never met. I only know their real name from the M-Pesa.
What? Okay.
And they were sharing how difficult business has been, vile hawajauza and all this. You see, this person has set up a business. And they're good at that business, obviously, otherwise they would not be doing it. And then they're not able to, at the end, when they sit down and think about their day, and they think about how much they have posted, how much they have sent DMs to maybe their regular clients about the new stock that is there. Maybe they've made some reels, because remember, they're an online business. They've made some reels. And then at the end of the day, I've not sold anything, you know? Very frustrating. Very. Yeah, that person is going to have sleepless nights. That person is going to, you know, actually, alikuwa ananiambia vile amechukua stock ya 90K na ameuza 245K. Unaona?
Okay.
So it's frustrating. So the other part of mental health is, are you productive? And is it fruitful? Because you can be productive, but is it bringing fruit? Is it bringing something back? Then the other part of mental health, that the third thing that maybe you would ask yourself is connection. Now, I know maybe I'm jumping ahead because you probably asked me, how do you know your mental health is deteriorating? One of the first signs that we know is isolation. So the other way that we know that you're mentally healthy is when you're connected to people. So, and I'm not talking about, you know, umati.
Because I'd ask, what does it mean being connected to people?
Do you have, now this is my own definition of connection, because I'm a person who, yes, is friendly, but I may not have very close, I would not say I have many very close friends, but I do have a lot of acquaintances. What I would say, do you have at least 2 people that you're vulnerable to? 2 people who know what's going on with you. You know, they know what is going on with you, what is disturbing, where you are at that particular, what do they know the season you're in life and what you're struggling with? And do you feel comfortable opening up to them? And do they also open up to you? Because it cannot, connection is not about one way, that I just come, I dump, and then I go, but it's also 2-way. Do you have people who feel they can talk to you, and you also feel you can talk to them? And this people, connection to people, it doesn't mean it must be family, it must be friends, it must, you know, those 2 people can be just, you feel like, you know. I have still another friend of mine who tells me sometimes she just likes being around people, not really talking anything. Watu tu wako around, and she feels kwangi peke. Some, not all the time, but you know, for her, that fulfills something for her. Connection to people can also be that you're part of a group. You know, do you feel like you're and that group can be work, it can be workmates, you know. Do you feel a sense of belonging at that workplace? Or or maybe it's your chama group. So again, it may not be people that, you know, you're seeing every day, but you have that one meeting, maybe twice in a month or once in a month, and in that particular meeting, you feel connected. You feel like you're part of that group.
You know that you belong.
Yes, and those people care about you, and you care about them. It can be a church group, you know. I was saying the other day, women live longer than men, and you know, and it's because we connect more. Women, we are connected more, and partly it's because we're, you know, of the roles that we play. Because, you know, when you have children, you cannot isolate. True. They must join a school, they must take a church. You know, you must take the children to church. Hata kama wewe haukuwa mtu wa kanisa, but when you get children, utaenda juu wakienda shule na wanaongea nao watoto wengine, na hao watoto wengine wanasema walikuwa wameenda kanisa, atakuja nyumbani kuuliza mbona hatuendangi kanisa. So you see, women, because of the roles that we play, we end up being connected. Because the minute that you have children and these children must go to school and they must connect to a community, then even if you're not a person of connecting, but you're forced because of you have, these children must be socialized into the broader community.
Absolutely love that. You know, was it June, Men's Mental Health Awareness Month?
Yes.
June.
Yes.
So you had a discussion with a pastor and a psychologist, Pastor Alex. And we asked a question. Namko tujibu, by the way. This is your call to answer. We're asking, why is it that men don't open up? Men just don't talk. We even have some here wanajijua. Mtangoja mpaka time you're at the age, ndio mko like, I need help, guys. And that I need help will have to come from this utatry.
Amefika
mwisho kabisa. And now, at some point, it's your friend they'll come ask you, what's up? You don't look okay. But for ladies, as you've said, is that it's a bit easier for them to confide in people, to open up and talk about stuff. And I think that's very important. You've mentioned the issue of isolation as one of the ways that you'd know something is amiss. But how else would you know that I'm having mental health issues? How does it manifest?
The other fourth thing before, so that we understand when it's deteriorating, because we said you're using your abilities, you're productive and fruitful, and you're connected. And the fourth part is that you're able to cope with the normal stresses of life, which now leads me to how you know it's deteriorating, right? You're able to cope with because stress is constant. By the way,
it's normal.
Because we're in Afya clinic and you know, psychologists, we connect everything and we look at things holistically. So the mind and the body are connected. And even a doctor will tell you, if your heartbeat is flat, you're dead. You know, it must go up and it must go down. So so stress is normal.
I love that. It must go up and it must go down. So that's the pattern of life. If it's flat, you're dead. There's a problem.
You're dead.
You're dead.
You're
literally.
Dead. Yes, you can't have a flat heartbeat. Your heartbeat goes up and down. And so life is also that way. It is up and down, and that is normal. That is normal. You can't have seasons where you're on the mountain all the time. Neither can you be in the valley all the time. Sometimes you'll be in the valley and sometimes you'll be on the mountain. There are times you feel like you have it all together, and there are times when you feel like you don't know what you're doing. And that is normal. Now, the key here is, how do you cope with that? Okay? And each season comes with its stresses. You know, unajua saa zingine tunaonanga kama nikipata pesa, nikipata your job, nikipata uyo in that relationship, bas, nimefika.
Nitakuwa sawa.
But each level comes with its own responsibilities, and those responsibilities will put a pressure on you, because more is expected of you. When you become a wife, more is expected. You become a husband, more is expected. When you get more money, more is expected, which that now are the normal, that is just normal, and that is how life is. So now going to how do I know that my mental health is deteriorating, First and foremost, the things that you used to do, you're no longer being able to do them. That is number one. And what I mean by that is you used to really take care of your appearance. You know, you used to care about how your hair looks. Maybe you're a person of makeup and you used to make sure that, you know, it's done. The way that you're dressing in a particular way. And you used to care about how your outfits come together and how you look and how, you know. And now it's mtu anakuangalia na shanga, what's going on? So the things that you normally do you're starting to let go of them. You know, and we have to look at this on a continuum, because sometimes Kenyans were so black and white, either it's this or this, but it can go all the way to very slight and subtle. Yani lazima nikujue ndio ni notice, siku hizi Rachel, you don't put on your makeup, you know, to the extreme where you're not showering at all. You're not showering at all, ama umevangua hata 1 week. Okay, so when we talk about that continuum, that's what it means. You know, it can go from slight changes, to where you used to maybe ulikuwa unavaa suti kwenda job, lakini sasa hata ukivaa jeans hauna shida. You know, that can also be a sign. Yes, you are showing up at work, but the way you would put yourself together, it's not quite put together the way you used to be. Which means that there has to be a base that I'm operating from when I'm looking at you and your mental health. I have to know what your baseline ya functioning yako inakuanga wapi, you know? And then now when I see changes, I'm able to tell that there's a change. So, and this is important because of the other things I'm going to talk about with deteriorating. Because deteriorating can also be where you're eating too much or sleeping too much, but kumbuka kuna baseline. Kama wewe si mtu wa kukula sana na haukuli, inaweza kuwa normal. You know, I have to know baseline yako inakuanga wapi. When we're talking about mental health deteriorating, you're also looking at emotions and mood. But again, kuna baseline, kuna wale watu na waangalianga facial expression haichangingi, whether they're excited, whether something, it's not like me that my face says everything and I talk with gestures. But there are people who, you know, they are very contained, you know, they don't use their body as much to express themselves. They have a facial flat. So they're telling you that, you know, they have bought a new car and a face, you're like, aren't you supposed to be? So lazima nijue baseline yako kwanza, ndio nijue kama mood yako imeenda juu sana ama imeenda chini sana. So mood swings is another way to know that your mental health is deteriorating. Being very irritable and touchy, you know, kitu kidogo inaku affect too. Not touchy feely physically, ni ile you feel you're like
too irritable. Anything small
una snap inakusumbua. You know, I've talked about the hygiene, the appearance, the sleeping too much or too little. We are supposed to sleep 7 to 8 hours.
Nowadays we reduce.
You know, sometimes we are very proud to say, me I survive on only 3 hours. It's not okay. It's actually not okay. You're supposed to have at least 7 to 8 hours, and it's really to also help your body to repair all the things that you have used during the day. So it's to help that, and we must get to the deep part of sleep so that for that to happen. Because sleep has stages. Kuna ile unasikia usingizi and then the light sleep where you can be woken up, alafu ile deep where you're dreaming. So we have to get to that stage until sasa repair happens. So when you're not sleeping the 7 to 8 hours is a problem. But now when you sleep the 7 to 8 hours, you actually have chemical that wakes you up
Okay.
naturally,
Yeah.
such that ukiamka asubuhi ukijaribu kurudi bed usingize kwangi.
Yeah.
Sindio?
Yeah.
But if you go back to bed and you sleep another 4 hours, there's a problem.
Okay.
You've already slept 7 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
Then you wake up and then you go back and you still get 4 hours. Then that is too much. Or you can sleep anywhere, anytime. Now toshi.
Yeah.
Another way to know is because there are other sleep disorders that may not be related to what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
but you've slept the 7 to 8 hours and you wake up tired. There is a problem.
Okay.
Because it means that the sleep is not refreshing.
We've had that sana where people say, "Mi huamka nimechoka daily." Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. You need
That's
to
a
look
sign your
out.
mental health is
Yeah.
deteriorating.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
On the other side of that is where you're not sleeping enough. Where you feel sleepy, you go to bed, and then sleep disappears.
Yep.
Or you keep waking up. Unalala 1 hour, unaamka, unalala tena unaamka. Or you're even waking up before your alarm.
Yeah.
Way before your alarm. Then yes, that's a sign. And regularly.
Okay.
Once in a while it will happen because we said life kuna juu na kuna chini, sindio? So once in a while you'll have sleep problems
Yeah.
or disturbing sleep. Or sometimes it's seasonal. Like when you have a new mother with a new baby, you can expect sleep problems.
Yeah.
And that one is because of the adjustment to motherhood, and also because the baby is not also sleeping. The baby is going to take time
Yeah.
to have a schedule, right?
Yeah.
So some of the sleep issues can be seasonal if something is going on, and it can be once in a while depending on the particular stressor that is in your life. Like now maybe you've gotten a new job, there are requirements or things, or you're a bit anxious about fulfilling the requirements of that job, then you can expect some disturbances because you're still coping with this new thing that has come.
Yeah.
But after some time, vitu zina stabilize, you know.
Yeah.
And so if they don't stabilize, then there's a problem,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Now, the same applies with eating. Eating too much, how she be,
Yeah.
ukona appetite. Now, no matter how much you eat, how she be,
You just want to eat more.
you just want to eat more,
Yeah.
then that's an issue.
Yeah.
And
Is
also
there a
the-
flip side of not eating at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so eating too much or too little.
Okay.
Too much appetite or too little appetite.
Okay.
Okay. But normally, as psychologists, what we look at, because in this age of weight loss and Ozempic and all that,
Yeah.
we're looking at a rapid weight loss that is more than 10% of your body weight, and you are not trying to lose weight. So when we're looking at eating too little, the weight loss, you know, you'll drop weight because you're not eating,
Yeah.
but it's 10% of your body weight in a very short period of time, and you are not trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
So then that's when we say now there's a problem.
Kuna shida mahali.
Kuna shida mahali.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we'll be looking at some of the feedbacks that are coming in, but also just to get to understand what you know about mental health. So we have some questions that we ask the public, and we'll
Okay.
be getting to take a look at that. But because I know this is a very common question, what generally, what's the main cause of mental health issues?
Okay.
Yeah.
There are many. There are very many. But maybe the ones that I can mention
Yeah.
are childhood trauma. Okay. Can be one. Childhood abuse and
Yeah.
childhood trauma.
Yeah.
They're two different things. Because, you know, children, when these things happen to children, they're still growing. Their minds are still developing.
Yeah.
And so the impact is big because the mind is still malleable, should
Yeah.
I say, is the
Yeah.
word that maybe I would use. So when an event for a child is not the same like an event for an adult. So because they're still learning how to process their emotions, they're still
Yeah.
learning how to think, they're still learning how to cope. And so when things happen in childhood, they can also carry over. If they're not dealt with, they can carry over into adulthood.
Yeah.
And I know we've had this in social media about, you know, healing your inner child and things like that, because those things that happened to you when you were a child that were traumatic can affect you as an adult.
Okay.
Things like domestic abuse that is now happening to adults can also affect bereavement that is not dealt with. Loss and grief. You lose a very close family member and you do not deal with it, or you deal with it in ways that are not healthy, like substance abuse, which substance abuse itself can also cause mental problems. Substance abuse itself, because alcohol and drugs cross the blood-brain barrier. They affect how we think, and they have a lasting impact. They affect everything.
Okay.
As long as you're putting that in your body, it affects everything. And then now on top of that, if I have a loss and then now I coped with it by drinking, sasa niko na nimeongeza shida mbili. Yes, and that will affect my mental health.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are just a few of the things that I can mention that can cause mental health problems.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I see we have questions coming in, but we'll be answering them to get a break. But for now, I'd like for us to get the Vox Pops, because I know that's very important, just to get to understand what you know about mental health. Do we need to do more of these topics? Sasa we are getting to a good place, because you also talked about the stigma that surrounds mental health.
Yes.
And you said it's very important for us to have these discussions so that it will be, easier to have these discussions with friends, even in general, just to open up, which you've mentioned and said it's very important. We'll come back to that. But for now, let's get the Vox Pops.
Depression inakosiwa na vitu mingi. And the first thing inakosiwa na depression, it depends if it's family issues, ama relationship issues, ama financial issues. It's so many things actually. Na huku nje so many people wanateseka sana na depression because of a lot of things. It depends kama ni familia yake, ama amekosa do, ama amekosa kazi. Pia kazi na cause depression. Yeah, a lot of stress. Yeah, it depends.
Okay, personally, I'd say depression is a state where a person loses his or her state of mind. Yeah. So what causes depression? Maybe when someone loses his or her loved one, maybe wakati ulikuwa una expect something and then haikuenda vile ulikuwa unataka, someone might fall into depression. Pia sickness. Some sickness causes depression. Yeah. Pia drugs, overuse of drugs can sometimes lead to depression.
According to me, depression ni kitu inafanya ukuwe na stress, kitu na overthink sana. Like inaweza kuwa ni kitu umeambiwa ghafla. Like unaenda hosi in the morning, ukifanyiwa test au kwa na HIV, but ukienda kufanya test upate uko na HIV. So ukiambiwa uko na HIV, it can lead you to depression.
Depression huwa inasababishwa na mambo mingi sana. So it depends with the area that is causing depressions to every individual. Because if it is to ask about what causes depressions, there are so many kinds of stuff that causes depression. But first of all, it is marriage life. Because myself, I'm a man who is married, I'm a family man. So something which can first trigger depressions to most married couples. It is all about, first of all, we start with financial stability. Because when you cannot cater for some other bills in the family, maybe perhaps maybe if it is a husband or a wife, ule mmoja na ule mwingine understand, na pengine wewe umeenda kazini, mambo imekuwa mangumu, and according to the economic movement in this country, ya kwamba unaguza mfuko yako unasikia hauna kitu, ukijaribu kufanya hivi, it is not adding up. And when you get back into the house, the wife cannot understand what is causing everything to happen. Si unaona? So hiyo ni mojawapo ya yale mambo huwa inasababisha stress na mtu ana end up kuwa na depression.
Personally I can say depression is a state of being thinking something too much that you cannot control it. And most of things that cause depression is like, can say like finances, and yani it is thinking too much and being stressful too much.
Depression is mimi venye naelewa, it's a mental challenge or something disturbing you mentally. Unaona ile kitu kufeel a feeling that iko kama oppressed. Let me use that term. Yes. Causes of depression, kuna kuwa na family wrangles, relationships, bad friends, you know, indulging to vitu mingi kama vijana, kama as a person, there's a lot of things that can cause depression. Yeah. So that's my point of the whole thing.
Okay, I think that was really wholesome. So wholesome.
Yes.
Yeah, but what would you say about it?
What we have just
Yeah,
said.
what you've just said.
Actually, what I would say is I am actually happy to hear people being able to identify what depression is without it being, you know, something that is so strange. You know, even the things that a lot of the people who are being interviewed have mentioned are that's actually what depression is. You know. And that tells me that whatever we are doing in terms of reducing stigma is actually working.
Yeah. Yeah.
If people are able to identify real causes, or, for example, like substance abuse, can cause depression.
Yeah.
And that is 100% accurate, especially alcohol, because of the way that alcohol interacts with the body, because it brings everything down.
Yeah.
So it can contribute to depression.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So when I hear people on the street being able to identify real things that we use as psychologists, then that tells me that the awareness and the education and everything is actually working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely love what you said, and the fact that people now understand what depression is, mental health in general. But also on the flip side, is that people are working with so much in their hearts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as we come back, we'll be coming back to answer all that, because I see if you have a scenario, if you have something that you'd love for us to talk about, we'll be talking about it. Good thing we have Outspan Hospital that helps with all these. So kama imeenda sasa imefika place ya depression, utatuambia ni wapi natakata kufika ndo ende hospitali, nisiwaambie hivyo alafu, you know, hey. But if you need a psychologist, you need a professional, we have Outspan Hospital. Outspan Hospital.
Yes.
Yeah. We have Outspan Hospital, and they'll be of help to you. We say what we do right here on Afya Clinic is that we're able to talk about issues that affect your health. And as you talk about your health, is that issues that affect your life in general. Because once your health is affected, your life is affected. Okay? So we'll be coming back and giving you the solutions. But as we give solutions, is that we'd love to solve your issues. So if you have any question, you have any scenario, please make sure you send in, and we'll be right here to answer your questions. And I'm really praying and hoping by the time tunamaliza hizi discussions, not only today, but as we continue, we'll be able to, you know, solve most of these issues, because people are talking about family, people are talking about their siblings, people are talking about work-related issues. So we're hoping and praying all that will be able to solve. Sawa. But for now, it's 9, so we'll be taking a very short break. Alafu tutakuwa tukirudi. Usiende mbali.
MBCI Television, transforming lives.
Narok Town. Are you ready? The heavens are already open. Narok Baptist Church welcomes you to the Holy Ghost Summit 2025, a divine encounter hosted by Reverend Sam Monka.
Revival is going to hit East Africa in a new way.
Dates from the 27th to the 3rd of August 2025. Venue Olentimama Stadium, Narok. Time 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. Theme: the fullness of the glory of Christ. Derived from the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verses 14. Guest ministers: Apostle Grace Lubega from Uganda.
We are members of his body, his flesh, and of his bones.
Apostle Julius Subi, Reverend Julian Kula, Apostle Damon Shunet, Bishop Daniel Osoi, Bishop John Coiner, and Apostle Maurice Solo. Guest worship ministers: Pastor Israel Ezekiel. Rock worship team.
He's the mighty God. Somebody worship the Lord.
And Evelyn Wanjiro.
Now you are my home in my way.
Experience the fire, the word, and the glory of God like never before. Streaming live on Reverend Sam Monka's platforms, powered by Narok Baptist Church. For more information, call 0757 388017. Mark your calendar, lock in the date. The Holy Ghost Summit Narok 2025, where the glory of God dwells. See you there.
Bendera ya Tanzania iko na colors kama ngapi?
Kama 5.
Hebu nitajie hizo zote 5.
Kuna white, kuna yellow, kuna red, kuna green, na orange hivyo.
God have mercy upon us.
Kuna hii neno bazoka. Bazoka inakaa nini?
Bazoka. Bazoka inakaa bazu akaomoka. Bazoka.
Ni verse gani ya Bible unaipenda sana?
Mark 11 verse 24.
Nasemaje?
Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have it and it is yours.
Kenya mzima iko na MCS kama wangapi?
MCS wa kila county. Kwa county kuna county 47, so 47 MCS.
Is it
47?
Oh.
She's clothed with strength and dignity, and she builds her house with wisdom. Proverbs chapter 14 verses 1 reminds us the wise woman builds her home. And now the time has come for women to rise, build, and transform nations. Welcome to Abigail's International Ministry 2025 Conference, a life-changing gathering of women, worship, and the word, hosted by the visionary servant of God, Pastor Julia Karanja.
Na neno ambalo Mungu alimpea kuhusu hii huduma ni ya kwamba hiki ni kijito cha furaha.
From across the nations, God has appointed his generals, vessels of power and wisdom, to pour into us in this season of purpose. We are honored and blessed to have Reverend Esolom Karanja, Pastor Nancy Chimwega, Reverend Miriam Gevenji, Reverend Rose Chimega, Reverend Jane Kamau, Pastor Dr. Francis Njenga, Reverend Sami Mahoya. These great ministers carry divine insight and revelation, equipped to impart wisdom that will build homes, communities, and generations. Our hearts will be lifted in powerful worship led by anointed vessels of praise, Pastor Andwo, Pastor Mary Theuri, and Pastor Maggie Dawn. Dates from 12th to 17th of August 2025, time 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. And to crown it all, join us for the Sunday rally, the grand finale on 17th August from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Venue Karatina Stadium under the big tent live on Abigail's International Ministry Facebook and YouTube. This is more than a conference. This is a call to destiny. Be empowered. Be the wise woman. Abigail's International Ministry 2025 Conference. Woman is a builder.
Dominion Chapel Ministries International, Goshenland, Kiserian, Kenya, hosted by Bishop Peter and Reverend Sophie Mankura, presents Turning Point International Conference on the 4th to 10th of August 2025, themed Wind of the Spirit from Acts chapter 2, verses 2 and 3. Guest ministers will be Archbishop Harrison Nanga from Kenya, Apostle Richard Mayanja from Uganda, Bishop Daniel Osoi from Kenya, Reverend Wale Joseph from Nigeria, and Apostle D. Naila. Guest artist Kestin Mbogo, Resian Le Perez, Pastor Joseph Kaya. Sessions will begin from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Revivals from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And live streams on Facebook at Dominion Chapel Ministries International Kenya and YouTube on Dominion Airwaves DCMI. Tupatane Goshenland Kiserian. Welcome all.
There comes a time when God releases not just a drop, but a divine overflow, a time of fresh oil, fresh fire, and supernatural release. From Wednesday 6th to Sunday 10th August 2025, we gather for a live transforming experience at Covenant Conference 2025. The theme, Anointed for Overflow, inspired by John 7:38, out of their belly shall flow rivers of living water. Our guest ministers include Apostle Collins Chipaya from Zambia, from India, Pastor George Parma, and worship will be led by Dr. Isaac Kahura. Our hosts are Presiding Bishop Boniface Runji and Reverend Dr. Catherine Runji. Join us every day from 9 a.m. at Happy Church, Eldoret City. Come expectant, come hungry, come ready, for you are anointed for overflow. Covenant Conference 2025. This is your moment. This is your anointing. This is your overflow.
MBCI Television, transforming lives.
Perfect. We are back. Thank you so much for staying. This is Afya Clinic right here on MBCI TV, ambapo tunabadilisha maisha by the grace of God. My name is Rachel Kahogo. We've been here since from 7:35. Thank you so much for staying. Tutakuwa tukimaliza 10 a.m. Today we are here with Catherine. She is a psychologist from Outspan Medical College and Outspan Hospital. Yeah, and I absolutely love that we now have Outspan Hospital, so that if you're a student at Outspan Medical College and you need to go for maybe your attachment or something, you have everything that you need right there.
Yes.
See how beautiful that is?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, today we're talking about mental health, and we say that as we come back we'll be answering questions. Yeah?
Yeah.
Before I go to this particular question, if you missed any part that we had, please, we're live on Facebook, on MBCI TV Facebook page, we're live on YouTube, on MBCI TV official YouTube page. We might not be able to do a recap because of time, but you'll always be able to get the whole conversation right from the beginning, okay? On Facebook and YouTube. So please go ahead and watch and share. That will be a blessing to other people as well. A very interesting question that I've seen a couple of times about relapsing.
Ah, okay. Okay.
And this is someone who was okay. Probably ameenda mpaka rehab, yuko sawa, ametoka, beginning to do life very well.
Yeah.
And then they relapse. So what happens?
Okay. By the time this person is going to rehab, alcohol is not just the drinking. It has become a lifestyle for this person. By the time they're going to rehab, by the time you get into a place where we have to take you out of the community for 3 months, that is very serious. You know, so to reach to that point, it means it wasn't overnight. You're not socially drinking. Si ati ile kukunywa tu ya Friday. This is somebody who their life revolves around drinking. Now, when we think about that, we think about the 24 hours in the life of an alcoholic and what that looks like. Either I'm drinking, or I'm recovering from drinking, or I'm looking for a way to drink. I'm looking for money to drink, or I'm looking for someone who can buy me a drink. That's my 24 hours. I'm either drinking or recovering from the drinking, or I'm looking for a way to drink. Hata kama hata ukinipata kwa hustle, hiyo pesa the minute na inatosha naingia bar, ama hata na chapa two shots as I'm working. So the minute I get money, I'm going to drink, and then I go back to look for money to go and drink. That is my life. Before I can say hi to people, before I can present myself to the community, lazima nikuwe nimechapa shot. You know, even to say good morning. That is the state of that person when they're coming to rehab. So when they come into rehab, and most of the rehabs in Kenya are 90 days or 3 months. We do have some that are 28 days, but most are 90 days. Now, you expect that in 3 months, I'll have done 180 degrees of something I've been doing for 10 years as a lifestyle, you know? So I usually tell, ask actually my students who are studying to be addictions counselors, I ask them, think about a habit that you've been doing for the last 10 years. And then you're told you have to change. You have to stop doing it completely, 100%, and you can never go back to doing it, whatever that habit is. That's what you're asking an alcoholic to do in 3 months. And therefore, you have to expect that they're going to make mistakes, you know, because first they have forgotten a lot of things that they knew before. I have been using alcohol to cope with my normal stress. Anytime kitu kidogo kina happen, na kunywa. Now, you're expecting me to go back into the world without my crutch, without the thing that used to make me cope with life, the normal everyday life. You can wake up in the morning, you can go through whatever, you can even get a phone call that is not so good news and deal with it without drinking. But for me, I had to even to wake up and tell myself to even kama nitaguza maji lazima ningechapa shot ile nilikuwa nimebakisha ya the day before. Then after 3 months you're expecting na sasa naamka bila hii crutch. We really have very high expectations of this person. Also remember they have caused a lot of damage through this, because alcohol is not something that is an individual problem. It also becomes a family problem, it becomes a social problem, and even to an extent a community problem. Then this person, because we are a culture that is so used to taking a pill and everything is solved, tuna expect huyu mtu atoke rehab and they are 100%. They can cope with life like the way other people cope with life. They can deal with things the way other people deal with things. And then we're expecting they get a job, they go back to working, get a family, all in, you know, and it can't work like that, because this is behavior change. And I'm going to say this is true also generally for mental health. When we are talking about mental health, it is not one difference between mental health and physical health. There is no pill that can make it all better. The medications that are even used as antidepressants and all these are to help that person get to a place where we can begin to help them get the skills they need to cope. You know, but the pill is not going to get rid of the depression. It's not an overnight thing. When we're talking about mental health, we're talking about changes that happen slowly and steadily. They're not overnight. Yes. I think you had mentioned earlier about on this other side, if someone is struggling with mental health and they open up to me, then what do? The best gift that you can give anybody is to listen. that is the best.
Yeah.
And it takes, well, listening is a skill, and it takes a lot
is.
if you really,
Yeah,
if you really
it
get
is.
into it. But the biggest gift that you can give anybody is to listen and to help that person to feel they have been heard. And this is to listen without judgment, to listen, to just provide a safe space where I can express how I really feel inside and where I will not be judged. That is the best thing that you can give. So when you see women going to their chama groups, going to their, it's because they're having that listening. When you say that connection, I feel that this person hears me, accepts. You know, acceptance does not mean that I condone your behavior. Acceptance means that I see the human in you. Just like you see the human in me. So because we fear that, you know, if we say that I accept you, that I am giving you permission to behave the way that you want to behave.
Yeah.
Accepting
That's a very thin line.
It is.
That's a very thin line. And this is in terms of, there could be someone who's listening or watching and they know they're going through that phase. And they're feeling like, kila mtu ananijudge. But the people around could be feeling, I understand you, but you can't keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you draw the line? How do you help this person recover, but also don't push them away?
Okay. You have to ask yourself, what role is it that you want to play in this person's life? Because do you want to be the one now telling people what to do? Is that the role that you want to play in your, you know, you go and, because by the time that person is coming to talk to you about whatever it is that is going on, they've really thought, as in, people are not, generally people are not, and I don't know whether I'm going to offend anybody saying this, but people are not stupid. You know,
people know exactly what they're doing.
They know exactly what they're doing. However, you do have people who are committed to their victimhood, you know, to being victims.
There
are people, you know, the line is here. When you get tired of being tired, then you'll change.
Okay.
When you get tired of being tired, you'll change. There are people who are committed to complaining. That because they're getting something out of it. Because for human being, we don't just behave. That's the difference between us and animals, right? We don't behave for the sake of behaving. There's a benefit you're getting from whatever it is that you're doing. So if you're gossiping, complaining, you know, playing the victim, there's something you're getting. And most likely maybe it's attention. Maybe the one who's complaining, everyone is like, woye, woye. They get the sympathy, which they're not getting in other ways. And so, as a friend, now I'm not talking about a psychologist, because psychologists, we cannot do this because of our profession. But as a friend, yes, you need to have boundaries, okay? Because such a person can drain you. Someone who's always coming to complain, then you have to ask yourself, as the listener now, on this other side, is why am I allowing this? No, you're not asking the person, but you have a meeting with yourself and ask yourself, okay, this person, every time they come, they're complaining. I have tried to get them out of that space that they're in, and it's not working. So what is it that I'm doing that is allowing this? And then maybe have a strategy. You know, maybe tell that person, okay, instead of maybe coming to complain about me, maybe you can journal. And that is your space to complain as much as you want to complain. Now, once you have journaled, you can, you know, because friendship is two-way, which is different from therapy. Therapy, you can be complaining for months and we are trained on how to deal with that. But for friendship, it should be two-way. So it should not be a situation where people come to dump on me and now I'm the one getting tired and I never get a space to also dump. You know, it's a two-way thing. So if you're in that situation where, then you need to have a question, you need to now start asking yourself is, what kind of friends do I want? Why am I allowing this? And what can I do about it? And now you cut short that behavior because at the end of the day, you're only responsible for your own life. You cannot be responsible for somebody else's life. So if you feel you have done everything, you have given them the idea to go to therapy themselves. You've told them to be journaling, and journaling does not even have to be a pen and a paper. It can be taking 5 minutes and talking to yourself about everything you want to talk about. Yes. And also in this age of social media and Gen Z and all that, it can be 5 minutes where you create a video where you're complaining. And you complain. But after that 5 minutes is gone, I cannot complain anymore.
Yeah.
That is it. Because you're now becoming a disturbance even to your friends. You see, if people are running away from you, then ask yourself what you're doing that is making people to run away from you instead of draw. Yeah. So, but on that
therapy session, okay. I get what you're saying. Now, we need to get a segment which is very important, and I think this will go exactly with what you're saying. But before that, I see we have Kirubi David, anasema well done, Madam Catherine, Outspell Medical College, anasema wako tuned in. Asante sana. Tuko na Fred, nakuona sana, anasema great conversation and well delivered. Thank you so much. Tuko na John, anasema watching from Kikuyu. Thank you so much. Naona watu wa Outspan wamekuja hapa wote. Okay, I see.
Thank you so
much. We don't
much.
be able to read all of that, but we'll just read a few. Wycliffe, unasema say hi to Mwalimu Kathy. Thank you so much. And wanakuita different, you know, hey, Mwalimu Kathy, Catherine.
Thank you. All of them are mine.
Yeah. Perfect. So that is it. I see we have people who are asking how to join Outspan. We'll be telling you about that in a very short while. Anasema, hi Doc and Rachel, only 35. Okay, but wanasahau sana. What might be the cause? Pia huwa naona it's not normal. Please help. Okay, we'll be coming to that. But for now, let's get healthy living. So healthy living is a segment ambayo inatusaidia just to be able to understand how we're supposed to navigate life, to live better in terms of our health. Okay, so let's get this segment and then we'll be coming right back to continue with the questions.
Hello and welcome to Healthy Living. On today's segment, we're going to talk about depression. Depression is a serious mental health condition that affects how a person thinks, feels, and functions. It's more than just sadness. It's a persistent feeling of hopelessness and loss of interest that interferes with daily life. Here are some common symptoms of depression. You may have depression if you experience several of the following symptoms for more than 2 weeks. Emotional, persistent sadness, emptiness or hopelessness, loss of interest or pleasure in hobbies and activities, feelings of worthiness or excessive guilt, irritability or restlessness. Here are some mental symptoms: difficulty concentrating, making decisions or remembering things, negative thoughts about self, life or the future, thoughts of death or suicide. Physical symptoms: changes in sleep, too much or too little, fatigue or low energy, changes in appetite and weight, aches or pain with no clear cause. What causes depression? Here are some biological factors: brain chemistry, hormones or genetics; psychological factors, that is trauma, grief and stress; social factors, that is loneliness, abuse and unemployment; medical conditions, chronic illness, substance use, certain medication. Depression can affect anyone regardless of age, gender or background. How to manage depression? Number 1, seek professional help. Number 2, build a support system. Number 3, practice healthy habits. Number 4, do what you enjoy, even if you don't feel like it. Number 5, be kind to yourself.
All right, so that is it. Thank you so much, Sylvia, for that particular segment. Now we're back and we'll be reading some of the feedbacks as we wind up because of time and questions. So Trarujina huyu ambaye alikuwa amesema yuko 35 years na anasahau sana. What might be the cause? Anasema mimi naona si normal. Please help.
Okay. Yes, that is another sign. Being very forgetful is another sign that your mental health is deteriorating. Okay. What can he do? I always advocate for this. Take some time, even if it is 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and sit down and think about what is happening in my life. You know, has anything changed? Is something, you know, we take these things for granted. Sometimes we wake up and we are set in our routines and we go about our business without really sitting down to think about what we are doing and why we are doing what we are doing. So maybe take 5-10 minutes just to sit down and think about, where am I? You know, what is happening around me? How do I feel about what is happening around me? Am I okay? Am I not okay? Are there things that I would want different? Are there things that would not want different? People think that journaling is such a huge thing and it's only reserved for certain things, but even that is journaling. Just sitting down 5 minutes, just take 5-10 minutes and just think about your life, yourself. And because I'm assuming that he's a man, and men, you know, are socialized to think about others, provide for others and all this, and it's rare that, actually, maybe the only time that they might take some time for themselves is at the bar, which now causes other problems. But just sit with yourself, quiet place. If you're a music person, some music playing in the background, and just take a moment and think, okay, what's happening? And I believe the answer for the forgetfulness will be somewhere there. Maybe you've taken on too many responsibilities, you know? That can also make you, or maybe this... Yes.
You know,
yes.
In our time right now, we have people doing like 1 million things a day. You're like, okay, so what do? I do this, I need to do to-do list. What do you mean? Literally. Like, when do you get time for yourself?
Let me put it this way. Why is it that our world functions with a certain number of hours of daylight and a certain number of hours of night? Because when it turns to night, we're supposed to stop, you know, and go to sleep. And then we're supposed to wake up with the sun. That's literally how our bodies and minds were made. We were made to be active for the amount of hours that they are daylight. And the days that are the night is when we're supposed to be switching off. But with technology and modern living, we have extended hours because we have light, you know, and then we think that that's okay. And it's actually not okay. We are only, as a human being, we're only supposed to be able to handle certain things at certain times.
So don't overstretch yourself.
Exactly. And the other aspect is also, there's also something that maybe we don't accept, and that is aging. There's a reason also that your body slows down the older that you get. It's to remind you that your responsibilities are supposed to be lessening. And if you look at the role of the elders, they're supposed to be handing over. Wanaketi around the tree giving wisdom. Because they do not have the energy to do the things that they used to do when they're younger, and they're younger people who can do that. But what have we done? We extend retirement age. We extend
because we need the
all
money.
The things. But do we really? Do we really?
There's that.
Yes.
There's that. Okay.
Even if you have 3 cars, you can only drive one at a time.
For sure. For sure.
So,
I hear you.
Now,
that will take us to some of the myths that surround mental health. Because we've had our own rules and regulations of how we're supposed to, you know, walk around life and do things by ourselves. So let's get to take a look at some of the myths and the myths and misconceptions that surround, you know, mental health and mental wellness. So the first one is that people with mental health issues are violent and dangerous. Is that true?
Well, mental illness that goes, not all of them, but some types of mental illnesses that go uncontrolled the person can be violent. It's possible. But it's also because of the lack of understanding of what is happening. And also, if just like any illness where we have extremes, we have ICU cases when it comes to physical illnesses. We also have ICU cases when it comes to mental illness. And so when mental illness is not treated or is not under control in terms of medications and all that, some, not all of them, but some can have violence and can be dangerous.
Maybe this is just the right place to ask a question. At what point do you need to go to hospital?
when you absolutely cannot function.
Okay.
What we call dysfunction. And what I mean by that is the normal day-to-day things that you do. You wake up in the morning and you cannot shower, you cannot dress, you cannot, eat, you cannot do the things that you'd normally do, then it's time to go to the hospital.
Okay.
So daily functioning, the things we take for granted that, have become habitual for us, where you wake up in the morning, you wash your face. If you're not being able to fulfill your day-to-day functions that make you walk around in this society and make you be able to function in the day-to-day world, then yes,
that's
you
a
need to get
problem.
help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. On to the second one is that therapy is only for crazy people.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Now, the analogy that I'm going to draw here is also the analogy we use with physical illness. Right now, where we are in health is prevention.
Yeah.
And the kind of illnesses or diseases that we are dealing with are diseases that are preventable.
Yeah.
When we look at diabetes, we look at hypertension and all this, the behaviors that you do can prevent you from getting those illnesses, even when you have a genetic predisposition, when you come from a family with those illnesses.
Yeah.
And so we talk about things like diet, we talk about things like reducing stress, we talk about things like exercise.
Yeah.
Those are the things we talk about physically. Similarly, mental health is the same way.
Yeah.
For you to have a mental illness, it had a starting point. You didn't wake up today and you have depression. That starting point is where you get therapy. Not the point where you're in ICU, because at ICU we're on life-saving measures.
We're not preventing anymore.
We're not preventing anymore. We're now on life-saving measures. The same, we have ICU for mental illnesses. That is the, Madare and all that. That's ICU. And those are the cases that get attention and that make people think that now this is what mental health is. But actually mental health started when this person was missing work, was being late for work. When this person was not paying attention to what they're dressing, like it had gone down. That's where it started. And that is at that point where you can get therapy, because therapy is not just for mental illnesses. Therapy can be, I have lost my mom and I'm struggling to cope with that and I need to talk to someone about it. Therapy can be, I have just given birth to my first baby and I'm not bonding with this baby the way that everybody's expecting me to bond with. It's at that point that I need to go and get therapy. Therapy can be, I just got a promotion and I'm scared. I'm so anxious. I feel like everybody is now looking at me and expecting all this wisdom and leadership, and I have all the answers and I don't. It is at that particular point that I go for therapy. Therapy is that 35-year-old who's forgetting and is trying to identify where this is coming from and they're not being able to. So therapists, we deal with everyday people struggling with everyday problems. We are not born with coping skills. Hakuna mtu anazaliwa na anajua vile maisha inafaa kuenda na vile nafaa kucope na maisha. These are all things we learn. And some of us learn them very well and some of us don't, and it's okay.
I love that. I love how you've explained it. And the last part especially, that some of us know how to cope with life very easily, and some don't, so they need help. So it's the small things in life, that small change that you're feeling, this is not normal. Get help. Just get help. Therapy is not for crazy people. Perfect. Now on to the third one, is that if you just stay positive, mental health issues will go away. Just be positive about life.
No, this is now toxic positivity.
There's toxic positivity.
Yes, because sometimes life sucks. I mean, sometimes life is hard. That's just, sometimes I am going through it and there's nothing nobody can tell me that will make it all better. And not acknowledging that life can be hard or life is hard for me right now can actually do more harm than good. Because again, like our heartbeat, it's not your final destination. Whatever it is that you're going through, you're not going to stay there. The problem is if you stay there, okay? So sometimes just being able to say, you know what, right now I'm struggling and I'm not having fun and, you know, life sucks. And that's enough for me now to even be able now to move out of that state of mind that I'm in. So it's not just about brushing everything under the carpet and now saying, you know, everything is all rainbows and sunshine and roses. Sometimes life is, especially now in this economy and everything that people are going through, it's hard. And it's okay to say that, you know what, right now life is lifing and life is actually not a friend to me right now. But it's okay. The thing is, it's not to stay there.
So you have to admit that it's, you know, this is not as beautiful as I wanted it to be. And then after that, now get a way to work through it.
Sometimes even just that admission is freeing. Sometimes even just being able to say and acknowledge that, you know what, right now I'm struggling and I don't even have answers already. It's almost like, I don't know, it's kind of paradoxical. It just, you're like, okay, it's okay. Sometimes it's okay to literally have a bad day and have that bad day for that 24 hours. But you have to have an end to it.
Don't just sit in it and be comfortable.
Tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to cry for 5 minutes and I'm going to think about all the horrible things that have happened and I'm going to cry and cry and cry. But after that 5 minutes, I'm done.
There's a friend of mine who said he was having a really bad day. So then I'm just there thinking, wow, how would one person go through all that? And then they go ahead and say, it's just a bad day, not a bad life. Tomorrow will be better. So from what you're saying, that's what I'm getting. If you're having a really bad day, it's just a bad day, not a bad life. Everything is going to be okay. Sawa, as long as you know how to go about it.
But it's important to acknowledge that bad day. It's very, very important. So feel the feeling and then let it go.
Feel the feeling and then let it go. Okay. Brenda, I hope you're taking the nini.
The last
tabidi tutafute t-shirt tuandike hizi quotes, you know, by Catherine from Outspan. All right. The fourth and the last myth buster for today is that mental health problems are a sign of weakness.
Absolutely not. Human being, we have strengths and we have weaknesses. That is what makes us who we are. We have the things that we're good at and the things that we're not so good at. We cannot be strong all the time and we cannot be weak all the time, you know. And you also cannot say that you do not have mental health because you have a mind, you have thoughts, you have feelings, you have things that you go through and they affect you. You have a personality. That's part of mental health. So struggling with your mental health, sometimes I get so puzzled because someone who's struggling with their physical health, that's okay, and it's not seen as a weakness, but someone struggling with mental health, and yet it's the same or similar. You almost cannot separate the two in my mind because, you know, even to make decisions about my physical health is mental health, you know, to make the right choices when it comes to even what I'm going to eat because I'm thinking about how it's going to make me feel is mental health. So how can it be a weakness when I'm struggling with it? Also, we expect people to know everything. I just said earlier, we're not born with coping skills. We're not even born knowing how to present, to do presentation. We
learn.
Yes, we learn everything. We learn coping skills. And for some people, depending on the environment they grew up with and who they are in terms of their personality, they learned it very well on their own. And most of us, we need a bit of help along the way. We read a book and we get, okay, this is how much I'm supposed to be. I watch someone speaking and I'm like, okay, so that's how, so let me try that. That is learning. You know, so learning does not only happen in the therapist's office, and that's, you know,
it happens in life in general.
In general, we're constantly in that state. So absolutely not. Yes.
Perfect. My goodness. You know, I have a question. Why do we have so many questions always at the end of the show? Because we don't have enough time, but we're gonna be sharing numbers. Okay. Acknowledgements. Anasema anaitwa Esther Kago from Outspan Medical College Nyeri. Anasema very good discussion. Madam Kadhi, keep it up.
Thank you.
Anasema
Thank
naitwa
you.
Pearl. Anasema she is my HOD and my mentor. I'm very happy watching her, and I'm watching from Eldoret. Anasema representing mental wellness in Uasin Gishu. All right, asante sana. God bless you. Now, maybe we're just going to talk about Uyu Moja, and then I will be having contacts as we prepare to get our tips for the day.
Okay.
Anasema, good morning MBCI. Hapo kwa causes of depression. I'm a student. Last semester, 3 weeks to exam, I lost my phone. Na vile unaelewa campus vile yukuwa, I think unaelewa campus vile yukuwa. So I decided to tell my parents. But on telling them, wakasema I wanted to con them money. From them, I wanted to con money from them. My father is still insisting about the phone. Ati I sold it, nikatumia pesa. Kwa ushirati, ulevi, na raha za dunia. Of which, I'm a member of CU. And in addition, there is just something that's hindering him from paying my school fees. Anasema nililia hadi nikachoka, and I'm living with depression. What do I do?
Okay.
To her, maybe in a minute or two.
Okay. Sometimes it's all about perspective. This is a young person in college, and a phone means a lot. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to mean as much as it does right now. You know, when I talk about perspective, you know, even 6 months from now, a year from now, when you look, will it matter?
After 2 months.
Even 2 months, maybe it will not matter. Whatever it is that you're going through right now, 5 years from now, you won't even remember what it was. So it looks very big right now when you're in it, but sometimes it's about perspective. Months from now, will it matter? Number two, from what she has said, it just sounds like her parents or her dad specifically is going through something. When you think about the role of a parent, first and foremost is to provide for that child. And when a parent, for whatever reason, is not able to do that, the frustration and the stress is a lot, because this is a fundamental, you know, this child did not ask to be born, and now they are here. And it is literally my responsibility to make sure that this child gets what they need. So, and then you're talking about a man whose role, God-given role, is to provide. And when that is not possible, then the frustration is. So sometimes when parents are behaving the way that they're behaving, it's not really about you. You just happen to be the target, a soft target at that particular time of their frustration. So sometimes we need to take the things that parents are saying to us almost with a grain of salt, you know, especially in those moments. Parents are also human. And they also have feeling, and they're also going through things. And sometimes, and I'm not saying this is right, they take it out on their children, which is not what there's. Remember, we all have to learn coping skills.
So you have to learn how to cope with that.
Yes, you have to learn how to cope with that. So first and foremost, right now, it feels as if it's the end of the world without a phone, but trust you me, it's not. And in 3 months, you won't even remember that this happened. And number two, just have grace for your parents. They're also going through a lot. You know, just grace. Grace.
I had someone saying that you learn with time.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Now, there are people who've heard about Outspan today for the very first time. And you're telling them, you know, this is what happens at Outspan, and some have said that they'd want to join. Also, there are people who have heard about Outspan Hospital for the first time. They're wondering, what's the relation there? Now, because we've talked about mental health, we've mentioned kidogo about the hospital, we've mentioned kidogo about Outspan Medical College. Just briefly tell us, what is Outspan Medical College? How is it related to Outspan Hospital? And for anyone who wants to join, how do they go about it?
Outspan Medical College has been there since 2009, and the hospital came first. And out of the hospital, there was a need to train the professionals who are working in the hospital.
Yeah.
So we saw a need to be able to train the people who actually work in the hospital, and that's how it was born.
Yeah.
And so we've been there for about 16 years now, training medical professionals. And we train nurses, we train clinical officers, we train health service support, we train pre-operative technology technicians. These are the people who assist the surgeons and the doctors in the theater. We also train health records and information technology. Data is important. How do we know how many patients are suffering from mental health? Is because of the health records, because we must report on all the patients who come in, what they suffer from, even patients who die. We have to report what happened and how it happened. And from that data, we are able, even resources is data, you know, to be able to do that. So we have health record, we train health records and information technology. And of course, we also train psychologists. Okay. The psychology program is a 3-year program. Of which in their 3rd year they specialize. And one of the specializations is chemical dependency, the drug and substance abuse that we've been talking about, and also marriage and family, and child and adolescent. So if you have a child, like now for example for this teenager, because I'll call her a teenager even though she's in college, because and she needs help. We say therapy is not just for the crazy. We
it's
have
for everyone.
It's for everyone. So we have psychologists. We train them on how to do that. So we felt there was a need for medical professionals, and that is why we started the college.
Perfect. So for anyone who'd want to join the Outspan Medical College to be trained in one of the courses that you've mentioned, is that possible, and is there a number?
Yes, it is very, very possible. And different cadres have different requirements. So for example, for nurses and clinical medicine, even health record, there are cluster subjects that the person has to have fulfilled in order to be able to train. And then for others, there's not. Like for psychology, all we need is a C- and you're in, because we don't really look at the cluster subjects. So I believe the number is on the screen. 011-277-009 is the number to call. And once you call that number, they will guide you based on your results slip on which course you have qualified for, that you're best suited for. And one advice I would want to give, because I know now we're moving to career, which is still also part of what we do as psychologists, right? When we think about the medical profession and some of the things that you can do, think about what you're good at. You know, don't only think about the prestige that comes with, you know, being a nurse and being, which is good, you know, we are respected as medical professionals, but also think about what you're good at, because this is something you love doing. And what you love doing, because you're going to be doing that thing
for the rest of your life,
for 40 years.
My goodness.
8 days a week, 8 days, 40 hours per week. So think about that when you're thinking about which of the medical courses best suits you.
All right. But as they call, do you have someone who's able to take them through the more of career guidance?
Yes. If they call that number, the person who on the other side, actually, that is what they do. Is they're able to advise, and they even can come in. If the phone conversation is not enough, there's a whole office that is dedicated to actually sitting down with you and taking you through how to choose the best medical career for you. Yes.
Perfect. So that is it. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being here. The conversation has been really wholesome. For the people who have more questions and they want or need help on issues psychology, do you have a number that you'd share?
Yes. We have a number that we would share. We had the...
You had shared?
Yeah. Yeah, we had shared that number.
Sawa. So I'll just read it. This is the number that you can call if you need help, if you have any issues with psychological issues. Maybe you need help. That's 0741 364732. 0741. We'll be having it on our screens. 36 47 32.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
so
that
if you need
number-
any help, you'll be able to get it there.
Yes. That number is for Outspan Serenity Center.
Yeah.
We have a whole center that is dedicated to mental health issues.
Okay.
So yes, we are rehab as well for alcohol and drug abuse, but it's bigger than that.
Okay.
So any mental health issue, they call that number, they'll get the help they need.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're very
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for spending time with us. Now we're going to go through some of the tips that we've had just to go through the whole discussion. If you've joined us a bit late, this is where you just get to know tulianza wapi and what are some of the takeaways or take-homes from today's discussion. If you have one and you'd love to share it with us, also feel free through our WhatsApp number, that is 0721 105 105. For now, let's have Brenda. Brenda, how are you?
I'm good.
You happy?
Yeah.
Blessed? Hi. Surely. How are you?
I'm good.
Um,
You look good this
Asante. Asante
That
sana.
means you're mentally well.
Correct. No,
Yes.
you also look amazing. Yeah. Now, please take us through some of the tips of what you've gotten from today's discussion.
Yeah. Okay. So today, now that we've discussed about mental wellness, I remembered a story I read online. There was this lady who was sharing her story of how she discovered she has bipolar. There was her friend of hers that at a time alikuwa akitembea Nairobi, she used to look at the skyscrapers. She would wonder, like she would be amazed, totally amazed every time.
Okay.
And the friend of hers would be like, are you really okay? Hata kama umezidi, ushamba yako imezidi.
Yeah.
Said it as a joke,
Yeah.
but to her
It was something. I think we need to be very careful with how we respond to
The
things,
language.
the language we use. Because I'm just assuming there's something you had mentioned before we got on air. I was just assuming if I come to you today, Doc, and I tell you, siko sawa, this and this and this is happening. How you respond to that will really affect
whether
the
you
next
withdraw?
thing the next thing I'll say, whether I withdraw. And the sad thing about this, I was sharing with a friend yesterday, is that if you create the walls, or if I withdraw because of what you said, that doesn't mean that I'll now go and open up somewhere else. It means that now I'll have walls.
Yeah.
I'll learn how to cope with everything by myself, which I think it's not a good thing.
Yeah, and that's why I emphasize that the greatest gift that you can give to anybody is just to listen.
Yeah.
And if you have, there's a saying, if you have nothing nice to say, just don't say anything.
Yeah.
Or if you really must respond.
I think that's my takeaway today. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything. Yeah.
But then on the other side, like she's saying, is that comment is what made the person now take a step back and think, okay, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And then maybe from there, that's when they realize that they might have bipolar. So some things that are said, maybe the way that they were said was not right, but that was the trigger that made me now wonder, okay, do I have a problem?
Let me go get checked.
Let me go and get checked.
Yeah.
So sometimes words do hurt. They do hurt. But sometimes those words can also be blessings. They can also turn to be a blessing because they help you to go and look for answers to a behavior that you have. So again, like you've talked about thin lines, it's a thin line.
It's a thin line.
Yeah.
Okay. Sawa, go ahead. Yeah, because people can't just be speaking however they want to. Surely we need to do better.
Words hurt.
Yeah.
Words
but as
really
you said,
hurt.
it's a thin line.
Yeah, it's a thin line.
So we need to pick things very well.
Also, I
let's
feel
give her-
okay, and I'm sorry, I know I'm eating into your time.
It's okay.
But I want to say this in the space of cyberbullying. I think that's what I have taken it. And I want to speak to those who have been cyberbullied or those who are really having a huge online presence, but the comments, they have very negative comments.
Yeah.
Turn those into blessings. Use the stones that have been thrown to you to build a house. you know, and whatever it is that is affecting you that is negative, you know, get rid of it, block. It's okay. It's your page. You know, it's your content and it's your page. Block them, delete them and all this. But kuna zingine zinakaa negative lakini kuna a gem or a something, because there's also criticism that can help you improve, which is positive. So don't take it personally, but look for, if there's something, look for the positive in whatever it is, or you know, look at it like, is there something that I can build out of this? If there's nothing, discard. But if there's something, take it and use it to build yourself.
Perfect. I love that. Take us through.
Okay. I'd like to finish my story first.
Yes, please.
So, as the lady now realized that there was something wrong, now she sought help from a psychologist, and now she had realized that she had the bipolar disease. So she acknowledged that her psychologist, as a matter of fact, really helped her throughout the whole journey. She listens to her every time. So I'd like to appreciate the role that psychologists are playing today.
Thank you.
You guys are doing a really great job. And now we move to today's pointers. Number one pointer today is that mental wellness is a state of well-being where a person can manage everyday stress, work productively, and maintain healthy relationship. That ability to maintain relationships, the connectivity, the talking to others. Kuna some people, when they have problems, they shut down. I think I'm one of those people. I need to check on that. And that managing everyday stress, we have been told that stress is inevitable. That every day we have to, kuna kitu tu tunapatananga nayo at some point, whether it's work stress, financial stress, And the second point is that poor mental health may be indicated by loss of interest in enjoyable activities, frequent mood swings, irritability, disrupted sleep patterns, and changes in appetite, such as eating too much or eating too little. I had this one friend of mine that akikuwa na stress, ye anakula sana. I don't know if you're that kind of person, but hey, for me it's the other way around. When I have stress, I don't eat. But she used to eat a lot. That friend of mine from high school. And also, some common causes of mental health issues include childhood abuse or trauma. Those, they say, they are two different things. And domestic violence and the loss of a loved one, and substance abuse. We have talked about drugs, we've talked about bereavement, we've talked about domestic violence. I think most especially that these cases of, kuna kwanga na feminism sana nowadays, because women are being killed and all that. And it's because, and most of the cases, it's their husbands who have killed them, or boyfriends or spouses. And it's because we don't know how to manage our stress. If the other gender, that is the males, I'm not talking from naona Chalwana smile. I'm not talking from from the female standpoint, like point of view. But male, okay, we need to empower the male physical, like their physical state of being, not physical really, but their psychological state of being, because they need to talk about what they go through. Na wamesema mostly by the way, it's financial stress, because by the way, I usually hear like men advising themselves. It's a conversation I had somewhere that don't get married or get a girlfriend when you don't have money. I don't know if it's true.
I think that's a whole other discussion. Yeah, I think that's a whole other discussion in itself.
Yeah,
and,
about financial stress.
Yeah, financial stress, but also men's mental health. And the difference, and why is it men specifically? As you said, so I think that's something we'll have to get time and talk about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next point is when a person seeks help concerning their mental health issues, listen to them and make them feel heard. When someone comes and opens up to you about their problems, listen to them, make them feel heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much for that.
Okay.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah?
I think there's one more about antidepressants.
Oh, there's one more?
Yeah.
Okay.
One more.
Uh-huh.
Antidepressants does not cure depression, but it helps manage it.
Yeah.
That was our last point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah.
I've also had a lot of people usually watch or listen even to radio. Even our drivers, they said if I don't mention them on air, they'll beat me up.
Yes,
So,
they can. Tracy Kubali. Please mention them.
So, MBCI drivers, Roba, Mungai. There is another one I'm forgetting. Brayo and the entire team who listen to MBCI TV and radio, and also you, our viewer. You are very much loved by us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for watching.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And maybe just to add on the antidepressants point, please make sure it's prescribed.
Yes, absolutely.
Any medication that you take, make sure it's prescribed. We say that we come against self-medication in the name of Jesus. Okay?
Yes.
Like, it's that serious. Self-medication is really, 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 it's really bad. We talked about, what was the name? You know, nowadays. So, there's a name where antimicrobial resistance. Yes, that's the word, antimicrobial resistance, where dawa zikusaidii tena kwa sababu umeoverdo. Antibiotics can't even help you anymore because you're used to self-medicating, haumalizi dawa, you know, so do not self-medicate. Please, anything that you're taking, and I'm saying things because I've had people taking antidepressants because they think they're depressed.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No,
So
there's
please
a
don't.
whole assessment that is done to even determine whether you're depressed. And not all depression requires medication.
Yeah.
Yes, not all depression requires medication.
Yeah.
In that, yes, don't. Absolutely not. And also the side effects of these medications are quite severe.
They are.
Yeah, they're quite
Oh, they
severe.
are.
Yeah,
They are.
so
Don't joke around with
yes.
that. Sawa sawa. We are pressed for time, so we'll get the Did You Know segment and then we'll be done for the day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here from 7:35. We've had an amazing discussion and I know that you've gotten something from this. Let's get the Did You Know segment. So, of course, did you know inatuchangamsha kidogo, and this will be for you to go and, you know, do more research on your own. Did you know that your gut health is directly linked to your mental health? Did you know that?
Yes.
Oh, wow. You're a psychologist. I mean, hey.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
amazing.
We are what we eat.
Love that. I love how you've connected. No, it makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
No, it makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
So that has been it. Asante sana for tuning in. Thank you for your time today. We say every time that you are our guest of honor. So thank you so much for being here. Do have an amazing rest of your day. But please remember, we'll be having lunch hours from 12:30 to 2:30. So do not miss out. If you're around Nakuru, come to Kohapa Kingdom Seekers Fellowship Nakuru. And you'll be able to get blessed. Sawa sawa. Others, have an amazing rest of the day. For this particular show, we'll see you next week on Wednesday. Same place, same time. Bye-bye.